Continuing with this series of videos about creating a story map and creating a group of maps, online maps that can be part of an online application that tell a story. What we have in front of us is an easily available data set from USGS that shows seismic risk across the United States, seismic meaning shaking or earthquake risk, referenced by the state boundaries of the U.S., a good practice. It's possible to simplify this map to a degree that it becomes more useful for online mapping. As it is right now, it's kind of raw data with a whole variety of colors and extra areas and contours of values that have lower that have lower seismic risk, etc. What would be a recommended step next is to simplify this map, if to the extent that it suits the purposes of the story we want to tell. If my objective is to work with an elaborate, detailed, raw data set, then this would be appropriate. But if I just want to show an indication across the United States of where the very serious areas of seismic or earthquake risk are, I can go ahead and select by attributes, which is something that you learned in the previous course that I put online in the fall probably. And this map is, I've selected by attributes those areas of the United States and essentially extracted from this data set only those areas where the seismic acceleration would be above 0.5 g-force, and anything above that amount is considered could be considered to be a very serious earthquake. These are the areas, as I mentioned before. Now it's much clearer that the Northwest U.S. is a risk area, many parts of California are risk areas, and a few scattered spots are believed to have risk, and one especially, again, the New Madrid seismic zone. So what this now is a nicer data set to present in a simplified online lesson-oriented mapping rather than working with the map in the data set in all of its glory. Continuing with the data sets that are available, it's one very, very useful data set that's exceptionally versatile, can be used for a lot of different applications and in a lot of ways, is something called the Social Vulnerability Index. And this map right here is the Social Vulnerability Index. It's taking its time to repaint, but this is a census tract by census tract analysis of census data and a combination of several, about 14 different measures from the census that indicate characteristics of particular census tracts, which would indicate a particular vulnerability of the people living there to natural and other types of environmental disasters. Some of the components of the Social Vulnerability Index are the type of housing unit. High vulnerability is assigned to places where a lot of people live in mobile homes or live in multifamily dwellings or multi-story dwellings. High Social Vulnerability Index is associated with places where the number of elderly people is very high, and also where the number of children are very high, both elderly people and children being people who are less able to deal with stress and disaster type situations. And there's another bunch of characteristics of this. I highly recommend that you put this on your list of interesting data sets and interesting things to know exist, because it is very useful. And I've reached my 10 minutes, so I will break momentarily to the next video.